Welcome to students. Today we are going to discuss about the next point of the bridge engineering topic, that is superstructure. In last video lecture we have to seen the concept of the cofferdams and types of the cofferdam. In this lecture we have to completed the point of the superstructure. The first point of the today's session is abutment. The end support of the bridge superstructure is known as abutment. The abutment is a simple thing. The end support of the bridge superstructure is known as the abutment. Then what is the function of the abutment? To retain the earth filling of approach road, to transmit the reaction of superstructure to foundation or support to bridge ends, connect the approach road to bridge deck. There, the main three functions of the abutment is the first is the to retain the earth filling of the approach road. The second most important function is the to transmit the load or reaction to superstructure to substructure, that is superstructure to foundation, and last one is the connecting the approach road to bridge deck. This is the main function of the abutments. Then various components of the abutment we have to see one by one. The first is foundation, next stem, next bearing seat, next back wall, and last one is the wing wall. See components of the abutment one by one in detail. First component is foundation. The abutment is supported by foundation which rests on the hard soil or rock. It also supports the stem of the abutment. The working of the foundation is the supporting to abutment, which is the rest on the hard soil or the rock, and it also supports to stem of the abutment. Next is the stem. This walls transfer vertical reactions from superstructure to foundation. It also supports the earth behind the abutment from spilling towards the bridge. The working of the stem is the to transfer the vertical reactions from the superstructure to foundation or substructure, and it is also supporting to behind the abutment from the spilling the towards the bridge. Next is the bearing seat. Top of stem is called as the bearing seat. It is the shelf that supports the bridge superstructure. The top section of the stem is known as the bearing seat, and it is the function or working is the to support the bridge superstructure. Next, back wall. The rear portion of stem extends up to top of the roadway. This component is called as the back wall. It does not support vertical load but prevents the earth from spilling out the maintaining the approach level. The back wall, it is nothing but the rear portion of the stem extends up to the top of the roadway, and this component is known as the back wall. It is not supporting to vertical load but it also prevent the earth from the spilling out the maintaining the approach level. And last component of the abutment is the wing wall. The walls extending outward from the stem and back wall are called the wing wall. These are the retaining wall to prevent earth from the spilling sideways, since earth on inside of wing wall is higher than the earth outside. The wing wall, it is nothing but the extending outward of the stem and back walls are called as the wing wall, and this the function or working of the wing wall is the to preventing the earth from the spilling of the sideways, since the earth on this side inside of wing wall is higher than the earth outside. Here we see in that we have to clear the components of the abutment. First is the foundation. This is the foundation, stem, next bearing, back wall, and last one is the wing wall. This is a roadway or railway. These are all the components of the abutment. Here is the side picture. You can see in that the stem, the bearing of the abutment, next back wall, and last is the wing wall. And this is the pathway or roadways. Next, forces acting on the abutment. There are the various forces are acting on the abutment. So we have to see the first, the live load of superstructure, dead load of superstructure. Third one is the self weight of abutment. Fourth one, water pressure. Next, earth pressure. Next, seismic load. Next, tractive effect. And last one is the wind load. These are various forces acting on the abutment. The first is the live load, dead load, self weight of the abutment, water pressure, earth pressure, seismic load, and tractive effort, and last one is the wind load. These are the various forces acting on the abutment. Next, types of according to layout. The first types of is the abutment with straight wing wall. Next, abutment with splayed wing wall, and last one is the abutment with return wing wall. That is main three types of the abutment of with the according to layout. The first is the abutment with the straight wing wall. Second, abutment with splayed wing wall, and third one is the abutment with return wing wall. We have to see one by one. First is the abutment with straight wing wall. In this case, the wing wall is in a straight line with abutment. Such abutment may be damaged due to flowing water behind the wing wall, hence mostly used in railway or street crossing. The first type of the abutment with according to layout is the abutment with straight wing wall. That is the in this type the wing wall is the straight line with the abutment, and this abutment is damaged due to the first is the flowing the water behind the wing wall, hence the mostly this is the we have to use, or this type of the we have to use for the purpose of railway or street crossing. In this picture we have to see this is the straight wing wall, and it is the abutment. This is the abutment of the center line of the bridge, and this is the straight wing wall both sides. This is the actual picture. Here is the straight wing wall. This is the abutment with the center line. This type of the wing wall we have to use for the purpose of the railway or street crossing only, because it is possible to damage due to the flowing of the water in the wing wall. Okay. Next, abutment with splayed wing wall. On this type of the wing wall are connected at an acute angle to the abutment. Here we seen that the abutment with the splayed wing wall, and this type of the wing wall we have to connect it at the acute angle of the abutment. The splayed wing wall, both the top show and bottom show also. Next, such type of bridge are more common to bridge with waterway as it permits smooth entry and exit of water under bridge. This type of the wing wall, or this is the permit to the water flowing in the low velocity and exit the water under the bridge. This is the actual picture or image of the abutment with splayed wing wall. This is the splayed wing wall is nothing but the is acute angle shape, and this is the abutment main as the central line of the bridge. It is the abutment with splayed wing wall. Here we seen that the actual image abutment with the splayed wing wall. This is the center line of the bridge. This is the abutment main line. It is the acute angle to supporting the abutment. Last type of the abutment is the abutment with return wing wall. It is also called as the U abutment. The wing wall are parallel to the center line of bridge, and such abutment proves the economical for river having steep and rocky bank and not much erosion. This type of the abutment is also called as the U abutment, and this is the abutment is the to parallel to the center line of the bridge. This is the return wing wall is the parallel to the center line of the bridge and is economical than other type for the river as having the steepy and rocky bank and also less erosion, and this is the very useful for the road construction or road bridge. Here is seen as the main abutment as the return wing wall is parallel to the center line of the bridge. Here we seen that this is the main abutment. The next is the U abutment or is the return wing wall abutment is the parallel to the center line of the bridge. Next point of the pier or column. They are the intermediate support of various span of the bridge. The pier or a column, it is the important thing of the bridge structure, because without constructing or without pier we cannot constructing the bridge. And next one is mostly pier is the made of the RCC or steel or masonry. We have to construct the pier or column with using the various material, that is the RCC or steel or masonry. Piers can be classified based on the different characteristics such as material of construction, shape of the bridge, frame configuration. The pier or column is the main characteristics is the first is the material of the construction. It is a totally dependent on the material availability of the location or site. Next, shape of the column or size of the column, and last one is the frame configuration. Next, selection of pier for bridge should be based on the structural and geometric requirements. It is the important thing that the selection of the pier is totally based on the design of the bridge or the length of the bridge or location of the bridge, and also it is the important geometric requirement. The aesthetic is also very important as bridge are part of landscape. The next thing is the aesthetic view is of the bridge is the nowadays the fashion, or it is the important thing at the for the better landscape. Next, it will be influenced by subsoil conditions type of the superstructure. It also the pier or a column is totally depending upon the soil condition or subsoil condition. Next, forces acting on the pier. The same as the abutment, the various forces acting on the pier or column. The first forces is the dead load of the superstructure and pier, live load of vehicles moving on the vehicle, longitudinal forces due to braking and tractive effort, effect of buoyancy on submerged part of the pier, effect of earthquake force, forces due to water current. This is the various forces acting on the pier or column. The most important force is the dead load of the superstructure and also self weight of the pier or column. And second one is the important the live load, because the is different to bridge and is totally dependent the which type of the we have to bridge is using for the or roadways or railways, or either we have to use the roadways the is a single lane or two lane or four lane, it's also affected to live load. Next is also longitudinal forces due to the braking and also tractive effort. Next is the effect of the various effect of the buoyancy or the submerged part of the pier or is a foundation. Also is the earthquake is a affect the to the pier or the column. Earthquake is the important thing, and last one is the water current or velocity of the water pressure. Is a This is the various forces acting on the pier or column. The next one is the solid piers. The pier consists of masonry or cement of solid section throughout the length of pier. We have to construct the construction of the or constructing the pier or column with the using the various material, that is either masonry or the cement for the solid section of the length of the pier, and they can be used for any type of the superstructure, and it is also used for the any type of the superstructure of the bridge. Next, often used at water crossing as they are streamlined so that they cause minimum resistance to water flow. It's also we have to constructing the pier or column or designing the pier or column to minimum resistance to water flow. Here we seen that the solid piers, the either masonry or cement or RCC member, which is the stone pier. In old days, this type of the pier or column we have to see in the Ankli pool in Sangli, that this type of the pier or column are constructed. Here you seen that the gap between the two piers or column because minimum disturbance to water flow. Also, it is important to height of the pier or height of the roadway or railway track, because we have to free movement or we have to permit to free movement to ships or boat. It is another important thing when constructing the bridge. The most important affecting the bridge is the length of bridge and also shape of the bridge. Here we see that this is the first rail track or rail bridge, and second one is the image is the road bridge. Okay, next, open pier. The pier which do not have solid section throughout their length and allow free passage of water through their superstructure are known as the open pier. Here we see in that last slide the distance between the two pier or distance between the column is the very important thing. That is the nothing but the open pier. The open pier is also there is no any solid section throughout their length, and also it's allow the or permit to free passage to water through their superstructure is known as the open pier. And there the types of the open pier is the column bends, cylinder pier, pile bends, and last is the trestle bends. The types of the open pier we have to see one by one in detail. First, column bend. In column bend, it consists of cap beams and supporting column forming of a frame. The transverse beams are used to support the longitudinal beam. They are adopted when the longitudinal beams are closely spaced and they are lighter than the masonry piers, and they may be circular or rectangular in cross section or shape. In the column bed, it is consisting of the cap or the gap between the beam and supporting the beam forming of the frame or constructing of the frame. The transverse beam is the used for the supporting the longitudinal beam for the better strength or better stability, and also the longitudinal beams are we have to adopted for the closely spaced, and it's lighter than the masonry pier or masonry construction. The lightweight is the or minimum the dead load is the main important thing we have to see the forces acting on the pier. We have to reducing the dead load of the piers or column, and also it's The shape of the pier we have to construct it either the circular form or the rectangle cross section. It is the column bend. Here we seen that the column bends structure image with the columns. Next, pockets is a longitudinal beam. Is the support is transverse beams are supported into the longitudinal beam. This is a roadway and is a parapet wall or parapet is a footpath and the section of the river bed. In this picture we have to clear all the points or things. This is the column bend. This is the bearing. What is the function or what is the necessity of bearing we have to see in future slide. We have seen that the open belt open pier have to free allowed to permit or free passage to water flow or minimum disturbance of the water velocity or water flow. Okay. Next is the cylinder pier. It consists of mild steel cylinder by horizontal or diagonal bracing. Cylinder pier, it is the we have to constructing the mild steel or with the help of the horizontal or the diagonal bracing. The bracing, it is the most important thing of the to constructing the or supporting the cylinder pier or piers. These are the piers is adapted when the foundation steel cylinder is steel caisson type. This type of the pier we have to use or we have to adopt it when the foundation of the steel cylinder is the caisson type. Here is seen that what is the caisson and caisson foundation. That this requirement is totally depending on the location or site condition. Either is the foundation or is the steel cylinder, then we have to use the steel caisson type. The concrete is poured in the steel cylinder after they are sunk in the riverbed. The cylinder we have to submerged or sunk in the riverbed, and after the sunk or submerged, we have to pouring the concrete for the stability and better strength of the pier and column. You have seen that the various bracing steel bracing are the supporting or it's important thing of the to the better stability of the pier, and this is the steel cylinder filled with up with the concrete. The filling the concrete after the when the steel, this is the steel cylinder are sunk or submerged in the river or water. Next is the bearing and is the girder and the roadway or railway, anything is, and this is the footpath and parapet wall. This is a cylinder pier. Here we see that this is the cylinder pier, the actual site image. We have seen that the bracing, it is the most important, play the role in the cylinder pier to supporting the piers and getting a better stability or strength. And this is the cylinder pier or cylinder steel, and it is filling the with in the concreting with concrete. Also it is a bearing. It is seen as the bearing section. Next is the girder and is the roadway or railway. Also is the parapet. This is a cylindrical or cylinder belt. Next is the pile bends. The girder of superstructure of bridge are supported to RCC or steel piles. The pile bends, it is the function or working is the to of the superstructure of the or bridge superstructure to supporting the RCC or the steel piles. The pile cap is provided to connect the piles at top and that they are suitable braced along the height. The about the concrete piles, or we have to provide the pile cap, the connecting the piles of the top, and they are suitable to bracing the, or we have to connect it with the help of the bracing at the along height, and they are used for the low piers or unstable ground or muddy surface. This type of the pile pens we have to adopt it, or we have to use uh, where the unstable ground or a muddy surface is available, or ground condition is available. Here is in the piles, the pile cap, and we have to supporting the piles is the with the bracings at the length of the bracings. There is a girder, roadway or railway, and footpath or parapet. There is a railway river bed as the pile bent. It is in that the pile cap is important to connect the piles to the top, and is suitable for the height, the main function of the pile cap, and also with the pile is the way to connected the bracing. This is the pile bends. This is the concrete, or it is a RCC bridge. Therefore, it is not necessary to connect the bracing. Or if you have to use the steel or steel bridge or steel pier, then it is necessary to supporting the bracing. It is in the pile cap. The top of the pile cap is supporting the pier, and this is the girders. Now above the girder we have to concentrate the road track or rail track. Last one is the trestle bench. It is a frame consisting of horizontal, vertical, or diagonal member also. The trestle beds we have to construct, or we have to mating the with the various horizontal, vertical, or diagonal member also. They are usually inclined of if height of pier is the more of increased stability. They are suitable for river bed which are firm and gentle flow, and they are made of the steel or the concrete also. This type of the trestle belts we have to use the where, or it is the suitable where the river bed is the firm or the gentle flow, and it is also we have to made up or forming the or constructed either the steel member or concrete member or RCC member. This is a trestle bends, the steel stress trestle, this girder and roadway or railway track, the bracings, and this is the river bed. This is the actual image of the trestle bends is the we have to see the very the either vertical or horizontal or diagonal shape. We have to any type of the shape you have to construct it or made up. This is diagonal shape. With the here to supporting the bracings, we are to using various bracing, and it's a road track or roadway, and girder and bearings. Another picture we have to see the rail track, or with the diagonal member, and it's a diagonal member here to supporting the various supporting the bracings, and also it is the bearing and the girder and the red rail track. Okay, today we have to here stop here. In next lecture we have to see the other terms of the bridge engineering topic, and I request or appeal to all the students, please subscribe the video and like. Thank you so much.